John, good to see you. I just heard you talking to the rest of the media. It was really interesting when you said, effectively, Wednesday morning, Norwich is the biggest game of the season. Come Saturday, Fulham is the biggest game of the season. And that's how you're going to treat all the games from here on in.
Well, to be fair, that's how we've treated every game this season, and it's done as well so far. So yeah, that has to be the mentality. That has to be the way we're looking at it. You know, you have to prepare for every game individually and differently. So yeah, we've obviously we had the game Saturday, and then come Monday morning when we came back in, we're preparing for Norwich. Thursday we're preparing for Fulham. So it has to be that way. It has to be just focus solely on that game. Once that's done, on to the next one and so forth.
Because people are always asking me on social media to ask players and Nuno how you keep your feet on the ground, how you stay grounded during everything that's happened this season. In the 6 or 7 months I've known you, I can't imagine that's ever a problem for you.
No, it's quite simple. As well as we've done, we haven't achieved anything. And I think that's the message that we're certainly transpiring within the training ground, to each other. You know, we have 14 games left. We've got 14 cup finals. If we do it before that, then fantastic. Then you know we've achieved that early. But you know we're in a fantastic position at the moment, and we've done that for ourselves by doing the right things and not getting ahead of ourselves and making sure that everyone's on it for every training session, every game. And like I said, why if it isn't broke, why fix it? So. You know, we've no need to change our approach and philosophy. We haven't changed it all season, and I don't imagine we'd start to change that now.
That's not to say, though, surely, that you don't celebrate the victories at some point.
Oh no, you celebrate every victory, because every victory takes you a step closer. Every point takes you a step closer. I mean, you look on Saturday, we were disappointed not to collect all 3 points, but I think on reflection, you know, you look before the game, Preston had lost 1 in 15, and with the other results going well for us, obviously Derby losing last Tuesday and Villa on Saturday, you know, it was a point gained in the end. So look, this league, it's massive. If you've got 3 games this week, you can pick up another 6 points, then you come the end of the week and you're in a fantastic position as well. But we never look beyond that. We never look beyond the next game. And like I said, it was a really good point Saturday. But tomorrow is all about trying to get the 3.
Yeah, you said it there, and I was just about to pick up on it, that if there is such a thing as a good point, then that Preston result at the weekend was that.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, we had a really tough game against them early in the season. Obviously went 3 goals up, and then they come back into it and we end up winning 3-2. But Alex Neil, having known him personally and worked with him, I know how tactically he's very, very good at setting his teams up to frustrate teams and to exploit weaknesses. And you know, we knew going into the game that they were going to be high tempo, very intense team to deal with, and we had to be we had to be fully concentrated and match the effort first and foremost, and then hopefully our quality would have shone through. I think, to be fair, we created a lot more chances, and we probably should have been a goal up at half time. But that's where, certainly this business end of the season, we have to start being more clinical, more ruthless in front of goal. You know, they've done fantastically well, the front lads, for us this season, and as we have at the back. But you know, if you can give yourself that cushion of getting an early goal, or maybe even like Sheffield United getting 2 early goals, and then you can sort of not relax, but you can sort of you can be more relaxed in the way you're playing, and you haven't got to force anything, and you can be more patient. You can afford to be. So if we can do that more often than not for the next 14 games, then we'll give ourselves a very good chance.
Are you having to adapt as a team to the way the season is panning out, the way teams are maybe changing themselves against you? Matt Doty spoke a lot about this at the weekend, that teams are different second time round and they are upping their levels against you.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, I think a lot of teams will look at the games where we probably haven't performed as well as we would have liked, or as well as we expect of ourselves, and try and take little bits from those games from other teams. So, you know, I'd certainly be looking at that if I was an opposition manager. But I think a lot of teams will realise that we haven't changed our ways and our philosophies throughout the whole season. We're not going to start doing it now. Some teams will sit back and frustrate and make it very difficult for you. Some teams will try and match you up and and try and play football against us, which, like I said, hopefully if we're on top of our game, then we've got more than enough quality to out football a lot of teams in this league.
You back yourselves.
You've got to.
Yeah.
Again, we're in an unbelievable position, but like I said, we've given ourselves that opportunity by doing the things the right way, by implementing our game plan on other teams, and by being as effective as we needed to be and as we set out to be in every game. But like I said, we haven't achieved anything yet, so it's on to the next one.
We're talking about possibly achieving. I know you are closing in on a couple of potential records for clean sheets this season. I think the division and also the club record, which will obviously be shared between you and Will, and I guess you probably share that amongst the defenders as well. How much does your individual form play a part in your confidence and how you see things at the moment? I think as an individual and as looking at myself, I've been pleased with how things have gone this season. I think the last few games, I've probably been a little bit lower than the standards I've set myself, but I'm an extremely self-critical person. I analyse my clips after every single game, and very rarely find any positives, to be honest. It's just how I've been throughout my whole career. I could go through a game and make every save that comes on target and keep a clean sheet, but still I'd find something in there that I'm not quite right with. Because I think that's just me trying to improve myself as a goalkeeper and trying to be as helpful to the team as I can be by making sure I'm doing the right things and being as effective as I can. But overall, I think defence have been unbelievable. The lads in front of me, whoever it's been, have been solid. There's been a few games where I've literally not had anything to do, which is great. I'll take 40 more of those. But ultimately, I think I'd like to think people think I've been a positive influence on the team in terms of my performances and since I've come in, and that's not for me to judge. I can only analyse myself as I do and as I have done, like I said, throughout my career, which is probably a little bit harsh, to say the least. Very harsh, mate. Norwich, we're not going to go through everything again that we talked about last time, but that last game, there was a lovely reception for you, I remember, when you first came out from there. That must have been a nice feeling.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it's always nice, probably more so going back to your old club, at Carrow Road. It was nice because the whole the stadium's full of Norwich fans, and to hear that reception was really special to me, and my family were there, which was really nice. So, but I think I said it before. It's a mutual respect thing from me and the fans, but the rest of the club as well. I felt I'd done a lot for the club, as the club had for me. So it was nice to get that reception. But listen, tomorrow's another game, and tomorrow's 3 points available, and that's what we're wanting, and that's all we'll be concentrating on.